This is our political analyst, Brian Sobel. Brian, first your thoughts on today's late development. What can we expect at next week's hearing, public hearing, where Judge Kavanaugh and his accuser are set to testify?
Well, I think you're going to have senators on both sides of the aisle lining up to ask questions of both of these individuals. And we don't know whether it'll be Judge Kavanaugh and the professor from Palo Alto or additional witnesses. It'll be interesting to see what happens on Monday.
Judge Kavanaugh has adamantly denied that he had anything to do with this. However, we heard the woman's attorney a moment ago saying, why would someone make this up? Why would someone possibly come forward with these allegations? She has absolutely nothing to gain by doing that. Well,
on the surface, that would be true. And I think the questioning will get at what she remembers from over 3 decades ago when she was 15 and he was 17, and all of the circumstances of that party that she's referring to. And I think Kellyanne Conway said it best, ironically, today when she said she should be listened to and not judged. In fairness, the judge also needs to be listened to.
Hey, Brian, a lot of people are calling this a he said, she said battle. Could this essentially come down to a credibility judgment?
Well, yes. I think it'll come down to who do you believe. We heard a couple of senators today saying they want to watch the testimony, hear the testimony, to decide who seems more credible. And so this sets up an interesting paradigm of who said what, when, and that sort of thing. You'd like to think that there'd be a lot more information coming together on this. Did she have a diary? Did she tell her parents? Did she have girlfriends she told? What does he know? When did he what does he remember about that day? These are the kinds of information points that'll have to be brought together, I think, before somebody can make a definitive judgment on this.
Brian, do you see Judge Kavanaugh or President Trump backing down in any way from this?
Well, from what we see, Judge Kavanaugh is denying it. But you'll recall, we all have been talking about this over the last several weeks, and I've said over and over again, the only thing that could derail his confirmation would be something popping up from his background, and here it is today, Frank.
Brian, I want to ask you really quickly before we let you go. There are a lot of parallels being drawn between this and the Clarence Thomas and Anita Hill hearings, which never successfully established who was telling the truth, but Clarence Thomas was confirmed. What are the big differences with the Judge Kavanaugh, Ms. Ford allegations?
Well, it was a different time. I think the Me Too movement is very important in allowing women today to stand up and be heard about things that have happened in their lives. That wasn't the case necessarily in 1991. You had a former employee of the person wanting to be on the Supreme Court having to testify in an open session. It was just different times, Julie, and today it's going to go in a different direction. He may still be confirmed for the Supreme Court.
Brian, just very quickly, what are your thoughts about this coming out literally at the absolute last second?
That's the one disturbing aspect of this that I think people on both sides of the aisle are asking. For example, during his hearings, he could have taken a gotcha question from somebody on the Democrat side of the aisle who could have sprung this on him. Instead, it comes out in a different way where actually he gets a chance to defend himself before he even has to testify. I don't think it was well done, but you know, there may be more to the story, Frank, that we don't know.
All right. Brian Sobel in our newsroom tonight. Brian, thank you.